Welcome back, guys. This is our third video and this is our lesson 1 part 2. The name of the part is The Battle of the Brain, Needs and Wants. Let's look at our subparts, what we will speak about in this part. As you see, we have 3 subparts, guys. One of them is subpart 2.1, biological survival and modern luxury. The next one is the psychology of marketing. This is the psychology of marketing. We will speak how companies turn wants into needs in our brains. In finance, we call this effect the dopamine loop. And the third part is about Latte Factor, the Latte Factor and opportunity cost. We will calculate your 30-year cost of small daily expenses. If you are ready, I'm also ready. Let's keep going. So we already know that a need is something you must have to survive. But let's stop for a moment. Is a need the same today as it was 100 years ago? In the year 1926, you needed bread, water, and a fireplace, right? But now it is 2026. If you don't have high-speed internet, can you work? If you don't have a smartphone, can you pay your bills or call a doctor? Today we're going to define the 2026 survival baseline. We need to separate what is biological survival, it is staying alive, and what is modern luxury, it is staying comfortable. Why? Because many people think their luxury is necessity. They say, I need this $100 internet plan, or I need to eat organic salmon every day. No, you don't. You want it. Let's look at the absolute minimum. If you were on a deserted island, what would you need? Hydration, clean water, nutrition, basic calories, I mean beans, rice or bread, shelter of course, a roof to protect you from the rain and cold, and health, right? Basic medicine if you are sick. This is the primitive baseline. It costs very little money. If you only spend money on these, you are surviving, but you are probably not living a modern life. However, it is important to remember this baseline. Why? Because if you lose your job tomorrow, this is your safety zone. You can survive on very little if you have to. Now let's look at 2026. We have new things that we think are needs. The smartphone, for example. In 2026, is a smartphone a need? Yes, probably. You need it for banking, for navigation, and for communication. But do you need the iPhone 17 Pro Max? No. A $200 phone does the same job. The phone is neat. The brand is luxury. The second one is internet. You need internet to work, but do you need the fastest gigafiber plan for $100, or is a basic $20 plan enough? Transportation, it's also neat in these days. You need to go to work, but is a Mercedes a need? No. A bus, a bicycle, or an old reliable car, they can be needs. The Mercedes is the luxury, not need. Can you see the pattern, guys? We take a basic need and we upgrade it into a luxury want. Then we call the whole thing a need. This is how people stay broke. They inflate their needs until their salary is gone. Let's have a little class activity with you. Need or luxury? I will say a word and you will tell me. Even I cannot hear you, but I want you to tell. Is it a basic 2026 need or a modern luxury? For example, gym membership, is it a luxury or need? Luxury, because you can run in the park for free. But what about electricity? Of course need, because you can't live in a modern city without it. But what about Netflix subscription? Need or luxury? Of course, luxury. Entertainment is not survival, guys. Coffee? Of course, luxury, because water is the need, but not coffee. A laptop for a student? Maybe it is need, because maybe you cannot study without it today. And now, look at your own life. How many needs in your budget are actually luxuries? You can write them down, guys. And let's conclude this section. To reach financial freedom, you must be a detective. You must investigate your spending. If you can live on the basic 2026 need level for just 2 or 3 years, you can save enough money to invest. But if you always live at the modern luxury level, you will work until you are 80 years old, maybe 85, maybe 90, I don't know. And in the next section, we are going to look at the dopamine loop, how companies trick your brain into wanting more and more. But first, we of course have key vocabulary for this boat. We had some new words. One of them is survival. Survival is staying alive in a difficult situation. The next one is baseline, the starting point or the minimum level. Necessity, something that is strictly needed. In this case, something that looks like something else. To inflate, we do it almost every day. To make something bigger or more expensive. Reliable, it is something you can trust to work well. Deserted island, we said about it. It is an island where no people live. So guys, we can move to the section 2.2. This is about psychology of marketing. How companies turn wants into needs in our brain. What is the dopamine loop? Did you know that companies spend billions of dollars to hack your brain? They don't just sell you a product, they sell you a feeling. Every advertisement you see on Instagram, maybe on TikTok or YouTube, is designed to create a problem in your mind that you didn't have before. For example, you feel fine with your old shoes, but you see an ad with a famous athlete wearing new sneakers. Suddenly your old shoes feel bad or old. You feel unhappy. You think, if I buy those sneakers, I will be as cool as that athlete. This, my friends, is the dopamine loop. It is a chemical reaction in your brain that makes you feel high when you buy something new. But the high lasts only a few minutes, right? Then you need another buy to feel good again. This is how marketing makes you stay poor. Let's break the loop into 4 simple steps. Step 1 is the trigger. You see an ad or an influencer or your friend with something new. Step 2 is the desire, because your brain releases dopamine. This is the happy hormone. It tells you, I want that and I will be happy if I get it. And the third step, you go and purchase it. It is the reward to yourself. So you buy the product and you feel good for only a short time. And of course, the fourth step is the crash step. After a few hours or days, the feeling is gone and you are back to normal. So the companies know this, guys, and they want you to keep buying. They don't want you to be satisfied. They want you to always be hungry for more. But how they turn wants into needs? How do they make you think a want is a need? Usually they use 3 main tricks. One of them is social proof. It is the everyone has it trick. They show you that all popular people have their product. They make you afraid of missing out. This is the FOMO, fear of missing out. And you think, if I don't have this, I'm not part of the group. The second trick is identity marketing. They tell you you are a high-value person, so you deserve this luxury car. They make you believe the product defines who you are. You don't buy a watch to tell time. You buy a watch to tell the world who you are. And the third trick, I think, it is limited time lie. It's very, very, very big lie, guys. They say only 2 hours left. Only 5 items in stock. This creates panic. When you panic, you don't think logically. You just click buy it. And let's have a little class activity with you. You will be the ad detective. It's a very interesting tactic. Let's be honest, guys. Think about the last thing you bought that you didn't really need. Please think. Was it because of a limited time offer? Was it because an influencer on Instagram said it was great? Was it because you felt low that day and wanted a boost? When you identify these tricks, you become immune to them. Next time you see an ad, look at it and say, there is the dopamine loop. You are trying to trick me, but I am smarter than that. And now I am an ad detective. Okay, guys, let's conclude. Marketing is not evil, but it is dangerous for your pocket. Your task this week is to be an ad detective. When you see a beautiful ad for a new phone, a vacation, or clothes, ask yourself, is this a real need for my future? Or is this a trick to steal my dopamine? If you can master your brain, you master your money, guys. In the next part, we will look at how to stop this by calculating the opportunity cost of our purchases. But firstly, as always, we have key vocabulary for this boat. So guys, dopamine, it is a brain chemical that makes you feel excited or happy. Influencer, someone on social media who changes people's opinions. Maybe I am also an influencer, I don't know. To hack, it is to control or change something, usually a system. I want you to hack this system. I want you to be an ad detector. FOMO, it is fear of missing out, is feeling bad because others have something but you don't. Immune, we need it. It is to be protected from something. For example, like trick of marketing. Logic, it is clear, reasonable thinking. And to deserve, it is to have the right to something. Actually, companies use this word to make you buy. You deserve it. Let's keep going. And in this section, it's also an interesting section, guys. In this section, we will speak about the Latte Factor and the $300,000 coffee. Plus, imagine you are on a big, beautiful ship in the middle of the ocean. The ship is your life. And suddenly you see a tiny, small hole in the bottom, just 1 centimeter. Do you worry? Most people say no, it is just a small hole. The ship is huge. But what happens over time? The water slowly comes in, hour after hour, day after day. Finally, the ship sinks, of course. In your financial life, these small holes are called the Latte Factor. The Latte Factor is a term created by David Bach. It presents the small daily expenses that we think are nothing. A coffee, maybe a pack of cigarettes, a daily energy drink, or mobile game subscription, and so on. And today I'm gonna show you how a $5 coffee can steal $300,000 from your future self. Let's look at the math of freedom, the math of compounding, the mathematics of compounding. Let's do some basic math together. Imagine you spend $5 every day on a want, for example, like a fancy coffee or a snack. In a week, that is $35. In a month, that is $150. And in 1 year, that is $1,800. $1,800 a year sounds like a lot. But wait, what if you didn't spend that money? What if you put that $150 every month into an investment, like the stock market, for example? That grows by 10% every year. And after 10 years, you have $30,000. After 20 years, you have $110,000. And after 30 years, you have nearly $340,000. Think about that. You are not just buying a coffee. You are spending that much money of your future wealth. $340,000, I mean. Is that coffee still tasty, guys? Or does it taste like a lost house? I don't think. And this brings us to a very professional term, opportunity cost. Every time you spend money on thing A, you are losing the opportunity to have thing B in the future. When you buy a $1,000 phone today, the price is $1,000, right? But the opportunity cost is not just this 1,000. If you invested that 1,000 for 30 years at 10%, it would become $17,000. So the real cost of that phone is $17,000 of your retirement money, of your future money. Rich people don't look at the price tag. They look at the opportunity cost. They ask, is this shoes worth $5,000 of my future freedom? If the answer is no, they don't buy it. They wait, they have the investor mindset. And we will have a little class activity with you. Find your Latte Factor. Now, let's be financial detectives, as I said before. Open your notebooks, please. Write down one thing you buy almost every day. Maybe coffee, cigarettes instead of bus, or applications or snacks, anything else that you buy almost every day. Write down, please. And write the price. For example, let's say $3. Little amount of money, I mean. Multiply this $3 by 30 days. It is $90. And multiply this $90 by taxi 12 months. It is more than 1,000, right? And now multiply that yearly number by 200. This is a quick way to see the 30-year value with interest. $1,080 multiplied by 200 is $216,000. Who wants to share their Latte Factor? How much is your daily habit costing your future? To conclude, I'm not telling you to stop drinking coffee. I'm telling you to be aware. If you love your coffee and it makes you happy, okay, but cut the other ones that you don't love. Every dollar you save today is a soldier that will work for you for 30 years. Don't kill your soldiers for a snack. Save them, invest them, and let them build your kingdom. In the next part, we will move to Module 1, Part 3, but this is our next video's topic. The next Sunday, we will talk about the money mindset. We will learn how to change our brain from a consumer to an owner. But now, let's look at our key vocabulary for this boat. Latte Factor, small daily expenses that add up to a large amount, to add up, to increase and become a large total. Compounding, when your money earns interest and that interest earns more interest. This is compounding. Opportunity cost, the value of what you lose when you choose one thing over another. To invest, it is to put your money into something to make more money. Retirement, the time when you stop working, usually when you are older. Tasty, having a good flavor. We used this word here as a joke about the coffee, right? That's it, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on bell's notifications to be aware of new videos. I'll upload the next video next Sunday. Bye for now, guys. Take care.